Hi guys, it's Jeanette with Backroom Creation for Fun Friday, where we're using plastic to make something fabulous. So come on in and let me know where you're watching from. And I'll find my comments here so we can converse. Because me reading my phone is not going to happen. There we are. Alrighty. Hi, Miss Mary Snyder. How are you? There's that. A couple paper towels. Hope everybody has been having fun watching all the fabulous creators all day long. Oh, this kind of dried. I have caught a few. I'll have plenty of replays to watch. No, I'm going to have to get a different one. Hi, Sandy. Hi, Sandy's from Virginia. I remember Sandy. Let's see here. Use a chippy brush. Hope everybody's been having a great week. Oh, you're not feeling good? I have a really bad headache today. Let up a little bit. But I think it's the weather. There's Jamie. Alright guys, so I'm Jeanette from Backroom Creations, and this is my segment in the Fun Friday theme where we use plastics to make something fun. Mine is a peanut butter jar. Now, I don't know about you, but we buy the big jar of peanut butter because we like peanut butter. I like peanut butter and celery for a snack. Thank you, Jamie. And also, when you get the hiccups, eat a spoonful of peanut butter unless you're allergic to peanuts. Hi, Tracy. And it does. 9 times out of 10, it will get rid of the hiccups. So, I got more than one of these so I can kind of show you in steps what we're going for, because I couldn't do everything all in. Problem. I was sitting here kind of going, let's see who's before me. So, this is a big peanut butter jar. This is something that looks very, very scary. It's just a hot knife. So, I have one of those X-Acto knives that get hot. Hi, Cheryl. Thank you. But this is pretty thick. I tried cutting it with that, and it just didn't work. Hi, Linda. So, to get these hot, you literally squeeze the button. I don't feel the heat yet. And I'm going to show you how I got to, I'm going to cut it right where the groove is. It takes a minute for it to heat up. Oh, it's not heating up. Why not? Oh, it's not plugged in, for heaven's sakes. It does look scary, I know. I don't use it very often. Just because, now, with it just sitting here, it's not hot. So even though I plugged it in, I have to push the button and hold it. You like peanut butter on toast? There it goes, getting warm. My stepdaughters used to melt peanut butter in a bowl in the microwave and then put it on their ice cream. Guess it's cheap topping. So I feel it heating up now. So you just hold it there for a minute. Now it's still getting warm, but I want to just show you how, come on, it's still getting warm. Hi Mary, how are you? From Ocean Breeze and Me. If you see any of my friends with the little follow sign after it, it's free to give them some love. Yes, Pam, hi. It does work better plugged in. See if I can show it to you now. There we go. So I literally, see that? See that little hole? So I just went around. Now this does give it a little bit of a jagged look, but then I just take it and I just run it across where I want it cut. And you can kind of, I just kept poking it because it was easier than that than to go around trying to saw it. But it's hot. You can see smoke, the little residue on the knife there. And you can set this gauge, like it's usually to cut styrofoam, you know, big sheets. And you can set the gauge to like not go very far down, like if you're cutting on a tabletop or something. Hi, Joy. Okay, so I just wanted to show you what that was. See, within a minute, it's going to cut it. And then it's going to be a little bit jagged. I just took the knife and went around and kind of smoothed it down. Now we can unplug it, because I don't need to get burnt on it. Okay, so that was that. So here's what you're left with. The bottom and the top. I don't have any reason to keep the top. So there you go. Hi, Brenda. Makes you nervous. Hi, Rhonda. So here we go. I took the knife sideways and just kind of went around it. I'm going to hide that so it's not going to be a big deal. But then this is what we have. And then I've had this for a while, and it's Dixie Belle Slick Stick. It's called Bonding Boss now, but I still had the old version. It's still good. It still works. I think I bought it like 4 years ago. So we're going to put this on here. It doesn't have to be a very smooth coverage, because this is just going to help you adhere your paint to it, or whatever you want to do. It's got little ridges at the bottom. So lickety split, we painted our half, and you can paint the bottom too, but I was just showing you how quick that went. I've been a mess all day long, so get ready for it. Okay, so after that, here's what it looks like. This is just the Slick Stick or Bonding Boss on there. Forgot to get my white out. Ugh. So I'm going to wrap fabric around this middle part, so I just want to touch up this bottom part. So if you have any questions along the way, don't feel bad about asking me. This is Folk Arts White. Is it called white? Yep, white. You know, because they're never called blue, red, white. It's all called something different. So I just need to paint the bottom and the very bottom of the sides. So what'll happen is, since we put that Slick Stick or the Bonding Boss on it, it'll help the paint adhere to it. And then if I do things like this, you know, anything glass, I put the Bonding Boss on, or plastic. You can use other things too. On glass, if it's, hi Melissa! If it's worn out and I can go outside, I'll spray paint it. Just like with Krylon or Rust-Oleum spray paint. And I just buy the real cheap stuff. It's just something to get a coat on the glass. Let it dry, and then I can use it and paint it. And then I seal it. So if I'm going to sell it or give it to anybody, I do seal it. Okay. So we don't have to worry about that part. Not get any thick parts around. So this was just a peanut butter container. I seen Jamie had an egg from Hobby Lobby that said paper mache, but yet it was plastic. Guess. Hey, Lavada, how are you? Thank you for sprinkling. Okay, so now we're going to get the heat tool that already got me earlier. So loud noise just for a moment. So this is the one I'm using, so we gotta dry it. These cookie sheets are from Dollar Tree. I love them because I can paint a project and then take it somewhere and set it while it dries, and then go about my business, you know, doing what I want to make. I think I'm gonna build me a drying rack. If you don't put a real thick coat on it, it should dry fairly quickly. But don't leave the heat in one spot because you will bubble up that paint. I know I did it earlier. I keep forgetting to get my Lazy Susan back out, so I can just sit and spin it. Okay. Easy peasy. Okay. So just inside, so we just painted down at the bottom. So this part, I'll make sure I don't have any. Thank you. Bonnie, this is a peanut butter jar. That's what it started. One of the big peanut butters containers. We go through peanut butter like it's going out of style. Okay. I love this fabric. I have it in the white and I have it in like a cream color. I was going to decoupage it, but we'll see. I'm going to decoupage it. I'd like to decoupage it just because it'll be a lot smoother. So the very bottom will start right where that ridge is, if you can see that. So you gotta make sure your fabric's straight. I cut mine with my ruler. I should have stuffed this with paper or something. When you're working on something, you like that fabric too. You're welcome, Bonnie. I like to put stuff inside, so if it's gonna bend at all, but we'll be okay. Make sure I get that edge down. And then the top, I'm not gonna cut it off, I'm just gonna bend it in. So let's get it on first. There, it's got white paint on that. Try to line it up. Oh, I'm deep in thought, I can't talk. I'm trying to clean up my craft room, and then I get something else. I'll say, oh, I'm going to clean out this drawer. Well, you know when you try to clean up something, you shove stuff in a drawer? Well, then I'm trying to put all that stuff away. I made a mess of my room again. Okay. So you want to make sure it's nice and smooth. And I have to cut it. Make sure it's enough to where to be overlapped and nice and straight. If I was just putting this on with hot glue, I would bend that under. But since I'm Mod Podging it, I'll just do a straight cut. I don't want a real thick coat on there, but I do want to put a coat on top just to make sure that it's going to stay down. Thank you, Deborah. Yeah, this is one of my favorite fabrics. I think I got it at Hobby Lobby. I will have to go to, other than Walmart, it has a little bit of fabric, but I'll have to go 35 miles or 35 minutes to get fabric now since my Joann's closing. So I'm just going to shove that in. I'm not so much worried about it being decoupaged on the inside, but I will go through and just give it a little hot glue just to make sure it's going to stay down. Of course, thank you, Mary. Well, from Alberta, Canada, I hope your weather's better. I know Wisconsin and stuff was getting... See, what's Alberta above? I always get them confused where the provinces are. I just want that to stay down. Okay. Then we'll dry that a little bit. We just need to wave our magic wand and make sure things are dry. That would be great, wouldn't it? If you don't put a very thick coat on it, it should dry pretty quick. If it's still a little tacky, I can probably work around it. I made some fabric balls out of this material, but I want to make a garland out of it and dark blue and bright blue. Fabric garland. I think I've made 4 this week. I've been making them in the last week and a half. Still a little damp. So it bubbled up right there a little bit, but it's okay. I'm not going to mess with it. I can fix it afterwards. Okay, so we'll kind of work around that a little bit. It's getting dry. But we will work now. I've already done the lid just because it was going to take a lot of time to do. What I did was I get this off of Amazon, and it should be in my Amazon shop. It's no face styrofoam, about as thick as like you get the foam boards at Walmart or Office Max. The lid part has 2 circles, and then the underlid part just has 1. So this will sit inside the container. So this one had 2 pieces, and then this one has 1. And then I just painted it white, and then I decoupaged the fabric on top. What I do have is, I put a hole in the middle for a knob. Gonna poke a bunch of holes so my knob can hopefully break through. Where? Oh. Now, we all know that crafters use non-crafting tools. This is an oyster shucker, but it's also good for poking holes in things. I actually use it when I used to sell wreaths. I still sell them, just not as much. And I would poke the holes in the box to get the zip tie or the Chanel stem to secure the wreath. So I just poked the hole in the middle. Bought a cute little knob at the Hoblobs. I've had it for a while. I thought I lost it, but it was in a drawer. So this has a long shank on it, but it can stick out the bottom. Don't matter. A little washer. So what I did was, I had to play with this for quite a while to see if I could get it to stick. I cut it with pinking shears so it wouldn't fray, and I just ended it at the very top of the two pieces because I wanted them hid to, you know, they showed that there was two pieces there, but I couldn't to get it to go up and over. That was horrible. Yes, I'm all painty. So there's what that looks like. That is cute. And it should be in the center. Let's come back to this. It's getting pretty dry. Okay. So I don't think I need the Mod Podge anymore. Hi, Colleen. How are you? So here's our container. I have some trims. I have some half beads. I have some beads on a string. But when I was digging in my little tote, hi, Pat. How are you? I've had this for a while. Like when trim goes on sale, I kind of just go buy a couple yards of something because, you know, I might use it. I think I bought this 3 or 4 years ago. Let's see if I can find. Oh, super glue. Super glue. I'm looking for my, oh, there it is. My frayed check. A lot of these trims have intricate pieces, and when you cut them, they will come apart. Thank you. I had a pin in there so it wouldn't. So I'm going to put some on the end here just to get it starting to dry. And then this is GIMP. I love this. I use it on my fabric balls that I stuff with fabric. See how that frays? So I'll put some on here and then I'll let it dry for a minute and then I'll cut it. I've also used liquid starch. I'll dip the whole thing into liquid starch and then it's still pliable, but it's a little stiff, but you can cut it much more better and it won't fray. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do is put this on the bottom. I thought about painting those little, I call them little nubs, but I thought, that's too much work. And then I think the GIMP, don't ask me what the other's called. I think the GIMP will put it on the edge of this. Let's see if we can cut this. It's still not all the way dry. It's still fraying a little bit, but we'll get her done. So I'm just going to hot glue this. Should be fine. It's not as wide as the lid, but it'll go right down the middle. I love the GIMP trim. You can buy it, you know, Hobby Lobby sells it. I think Walmart sells a little bit, or they used to. Amazon. The cheapest place I've got it, you get 10 yards for, I can't remember. Yeah, now if it's the gross grain, you know, you need to light it up with a lighter, fray the ends, or burn the ends. I use the fray check a lot on my trims. What the heck? There we go. And this is dry enough now, you know, it's just like another surface. But I always understate how long it's going to take me to do something. So, well, hello, Miss Honey and Bear. I always want to call you Miss Honey. I will literally have to, I have, you know, that mechanics goop in the orange thing. I have some of that up here in the bathroom that I used to get all the stuff off my hands. That's cute. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll put the fray check on there and leave it a minute, and we'll work on the other one. And then we'll come back and cut it. If you can figure out how much you need, that works too. If you know how much you need, which on my fabric balls I do, you could go ahead and put it on there and cut it and get it all ready. So we'll leave that there for a moment. And then see if we can get this to cut without going everywhere. Just a little bit. Now I have put glue on it before, just so the pieces aren't going all wacky. Thank you, Deborah. Oh, see? It went all wackadoodle. Okay, we're going to leave. You can kind of see how it's weaved through. You can see which ones you should cut. And very sharp scissors helps. I don't know where my little ones are. I usually use this little pair. All right, I'm not going to do it anymore. We're going to go for it. Thank you, Deborah. I liked your fans. Those were cute. And this is going to almost cover the bottom area. Now, if I was selling this, I would probably put some E6000 underneath there so it didn't pull up from the plastic. But it's okay. You just want to make sure you pull them taut to make sure they're not all limpy. All right, so we're back around here. Bring around the rosy. I don't know if that's going to work or not on this one. This one's like really like woven in. I don't even remember buying it. Let's see how this one's doing. Sometimes I'll just, there was one little string hanging, so I'll dab just a little bit of glue, ouch, on there. So there, it's on there pretty good. So we're done with that one. Thank you. Yeah, I love trim and lace, all that stuff. My mom gave me lace tablecloths that maybe had a hole in the other end of it. She goes, "You're going to chop that up, aren't you?" And I'm like, mm-hmm. She gave me a Chanel bedspread. It's got a stain on one side that she used to just, it would be to the wall, you know, like a little stain. She goes, "Are you going to cut that up?" I said, mm-hmm. She's where I got all the music and that vintage trim from. Oh, I found the other trim I was looking for. So I'll have it in the next market day. We're going to have, what is it, April 4th, 7th, somewhere in there. So I'm just, same thing here. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on this. just to get those threads on up. Got a loose one there. Get in there. Okay, I'll cut you off. There we go. I'll probably put another, once it dries, I'll put another coat of the fray check on there. Okay. So I did make some little flowers. I have a little stack full of these out of the DOS clay. I have a little flowers. I think it's the DOS clay. Yeah, the DOS clay. So I just made a bunch of flowers. They're not all the way dry, but I thought we might incorporate these in there, but I don't want to put them on just plain white. I don't know where I put them though. I do have some half beads though too. We still got 15 minutes. We would have to paint those. Of course, we'd have to paint these too, I think. This is Admiral Blue in the apple barrel. Give me a big brush. I know I'm always walking off camera, but I got so much stuff in here. Hello, how are you? Okay, so what we're going to do is here. I have all these little flowers. Some of them are half dry. You know, the clay is. Some of them aren't. There's like 3 kinds, I think, on there. I think I'm just going to try to dry brush them a little bit. That's a pretty light blue. I thought I was getting a dark blue. We might have to wax these too. This is a bright, bright blue. Which waxing them wouldn't be bad too, or put Miss Tracy's Mod Podge on there. I thought it was dark blue. Sees what I know. Where do you think we could put the flowers at? I could put them on the lid. Could put them down through the middle. I like these. They're more of a, kind of look like a sunflower or a daisy or a Shasta daisy. They're going blue. I'm not even getting them on the side a whole lot. Let's see here. There it is. Got Mr. or Howard's Chalk Teak in the dark. This is like my favorite wax, dark wax. Let's see what we can do here. I don't need a ton of wax. And the clay's still half dry, half wet. So there's what, see, this is what it looks like with no wax. And then that's what it looks like with the wax. I think I'm going wax. Time flies, huh? I might have to finish these up. Of course, I don't even know if I want them on there. I'll save them for something else, though. To see, then our lid has a little lip there. It just fits on there. Isn't that cute? I was trying to find my little mold that it's like a little frame. I wanted to put a little frame on here. Hi, Sissy. How are you? But you know, you can never find something when you want it. I've rearranged my craft room I don't know how many times. Of course, coming out of Christmas, I really have to rearrange it because I have so much Christmas supplies. Yeah, I like those other than the side. Ooh, I don't want that in there. Thank you. It started out as a peanut butter container. Do you know the best way to clean a peanut butter container? Because I was saving those for my husband to put like screws and stuff out. Thank you, Jamie. Out in the shed, but then he didn't want them. He got something else. The best way to get the peanut butter out of those, that mayonnaise is, thank you, Anita. You put some hot soapy water in it, fill it like half full, and then shake the crap out of it. Just shake it, shake it, shake it, and that will beat the peanut butter away from the edges. Sometimes I've done it like twice, and then I'll wash it. But you know, peanut butter has the oil in it, so it, you know, slimy. Thank you, Brenda. I know what we could do. I'm in the mood lately to bling. If you didn't see the picture of, I don't want to touch it. Here is the egg I made for, it's a wreath attachment, and I put bling on it. That's what made me think of it. It's even the same material. How funny. Yes, that is so much better. Bye-bye paint. We're going to, see, I have some totally dazzled, but I have these small ones that I got off of Amazon. They're called flatbacks. They don't have any clasp or anything to them. How's that? Well, got some more. I know I got more down in here. But you can get, if you want stuff like this, you can get it from Hobby Lobby when they have it on sale. I love the little brooches. There's one. There's another. There's 4. Let's try 4. So, go over here. Thank you. I have good ideas once in a while. Okay. Then we'll go in half right there. And as this dries, it'll get a little more clear. It's not too tacky, just a little bit. That's fancy pretty. See, that's why I'm so eclectic. Hi, Lisa. How are you? Where I like glitter, I like bling, I like primitive, I like farmhouse. I like it all. But my house is rustic, antique-ish. I hope I put those the same level. I'm just keeping it so it's not going nowhere. Ooh, that one was kind of far down. Oh, isn't that cute? Got just a little bit of bling on it. Right there. You can see it better in person. Thank you, Mary. It's one of my favorite fabrics. Thus the reason it's in the egg I made. I made those as wreath attachments. They've got pipe cleaners built into the back, and then you can put them in a wreath. I made this one on a live. So if you were with me that night, this has got homespun on it. And then I also made a pink one. I like to make wreath attachments too. I like to make a lot of things. That's why I have too much stuff. Thank you. I think it's quite good. It's a little tight. I got to get the fabric down. I might go ahead and cut the fabric out just because it's a little tight now with all that fabric in there. But this would hold a roll of toilet paper. Yes. Wouldn't that be cute? So everybody go out and buy a great big jar of peanut butter, and after you eat it, wash it, and then make a toilet paper roll holder. It would hide it. You know, nowadays, we're just like, stick it on a shelf. I don't care if anybody sees it. You know, back in the day, you wanted that hid. So, you know, one time I built this little heart house that you opened up the top and all the toilet paper went down in. Now you're just like, I see shelves where they're playing tic-tac-toe with it up on the shelf. So, peanut butter container. And then we have fabric that is Mod Podged on. The lid is 2 layers of foam and then 1 layer of foam, just hot glued together and painted white. I Mod Podged the fabric to the lid. We put some GIMP trim on it. Then we Mod Podged the fabric to this. We put a different trim down here at the bottom. The fabric's just stuffed in, which I might cut it out so the lid won't be as tight. And then we put some bling on it. I think it's cute, pretty, adorable, all the above. You could even put ruffles down here at the bottom and you wouldn't see any of that white part if you wanted. Yep, I'm pretty proud of that idea. Thank you, Cheryl and Mary. Enjoy. So I had these, the beads, I call them beads on a string. You could have done these around both sides of this. You could have done it up here at the top, but we didn't. Just giving you some other ideas. I have a jar of those little half beads. They're just half a bead. Whoop. Yeah. My fingers aren't, I can't hold them tonight. Here's what they look like. They're only like, I don't even know if they're a half an inch. I would have had to paint those though, or stain them. I have some bigger ones of those too. I had lots of options. I was going to go with the royal blue GIMP. Thank you, Linda. And then I had some ribbon to go with. But then the more and more I got looking at it and digging through my trim. Thank you, Sandy. I think I like the dark blue, the navy blue better. Of course, you know, I use that with my egg. So I'm not sure who comes up next, but if you're not on Craft Around the Clock, make sure you do so you get all the notifications. Be sure to follow me. You'll know when I go live. And Craft Around the Clock will be hosting a collaboration with Digital Deco Designs, Totally Dazzled, and Essential Stencil. 34 of us are in this event, Saturday and Sunday. I'll be on Sunday evening, I think. And we got to pick gorgeous things from all 3 of these companies, and we have to put them into a project. So you're not going to want to miss it this weekend, or put us on replay, all right? So make sure you go join Craft Around the Clock and join me, and I hope to see you guys again sometime. Have a great night. Bye.